Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Terrence Ray, and I'm back at you with a weekly stock market update. I'm gonna get you right and tight for the week. We're gonna talk about some of the stocks that I have my eye on for the week, the upcoming shortened week, because we got a holiday weekend and we won't have any trading on Monday. But which we the expected move is saying that it's not a whole lot expected to be done this week, but um, I do think we're gonna see some surprises on Tuesday morning, so I'll get to those stocks. Make sure that you stay to the end of the video. I always try to give useful tips and some targets too. I ain't just talking. You checking my track record for the past few shows, you'll see I've been dead on. So right to it, let's get right to it. S&P 500, what you're looking at right now is the SPX. Now, the expected move for the week is $39.16, which is really that's a real low expected move. I get that from the weekly option chain. Now, today is Sunday, May 26th. So tomorrow is a holiday, so the markets will be closed. Um, and with that being said, so we're only going to have 4 days trading this week. That's probably has something to do with the small expected move of only being 39 bucks. I do think we'll still get some movements in certain stocks. So maybe the overall market may be slow. And basically this expected move, if you look at it, basically have this on the option chain plotted out here on the chart where I can see it. Now you can see that it is the almost the length of this candlestick on Thursday. Now on Thursday um we had the market up at one point up to what's that high? 5,341, 5,341, and it made a low of 5,256. That's that's about a $85 move from high to low. So that's a real big movement for a large range for one day. And then Friday, we see right here this candlestick being inside of it. So we're definitely in a range. Just looking at that would lead me to think like if I was doing any type of or planning to do any type of intraday trading, I would be looking for breaks outside of this range here to the upside or outside of this range here to the downside. And I actually do think we may get that this week, even with the low expected move. I think that's too low just based upon some of the stocks that I seen. Now, I want to follow up on Bitcoin. Last week, I came on here and I talked about Bitcoin. I talked about Bitcoin's movement. If you go back and look at last weekend's video for the week, you'll see where we are right here and where we were last week, and you'll see where we ended the week on Friday, and you see where we're at. We're right at one of the Fibonacci extension level. Now I want to do something just to make it easier to see. Turn this around this way. Now you can see where Bitcoin came right here and it's kind of holding right here are the highs. These are previous highs. So obviously these highs right here will act as a resistance. Pull back a little bit, came back into this level. This would have been a great area to buy back into, to be honest. Now, what I think is going to happen, excuse me, at some point, I think Bitcoin would take this high out, obviously, and the next level up would be 74,000 727 to be exact. But somewhere right around that range, I say we'll call it 74.5. Right around in this range in here is the next take profit level. It'll take these highs out and then move higher. Now, if you're holding, some people don't trade Bitcoin, they just hold it. They're holding it, or some people do trade in and out. right? But one of the main reasons why I track Bitcoin, whether you're holding it or not, is because the other stocks that move with crypto, and it pretty much Bitcoin moves all of crypto for the most part. When it moves, the other cryptos will move, and the stocks that move along with Bitcoin will move also. One of the ones I've been talking about is Coinbase. So let's go take a look at Coin. If we look at Coinbase, you'll see I got levels on here, right? These levels were put on here from the intraday chart. Let's, as you can see we had a move here, a pullback, and then a gap up. Here's the first level at the 100. Hit, you can see the wick, respected that. Hit the 1618, pull back. Now, you may say, so it can just bounce around and hit these levels. No, the beginning spot is right here. This is the zero level. So anytime I'm doing like a Fibonacci extension or something like that, and I'm trying to take targets, right? Anytime the market comes back and takes out the first point, which would have been right here, then that resets the whole thing. It's over at that point. Like I don't have to continue to look at it. Um, then I start looking for a different type of trend, right? And so as long as this last level right here, so meaning I would have put my stop loss here if I was going to continue to hold throughout this. It would have been somewhere right here to stop me out if I was doing a stop loss. Now you can see right here, it hit this next level at 2618. You can see when it's hitting these levels, you're getting wicks right there. And these levels are acting as resistance. And then the previous level acts as support. Now you can see when the market ended on Friday, look at what it was doing. This is the last hour of the day on Friday. The what would that been? The 24th. Here it go right here. Moving up, attacking this level here. So that lets us know the next tech profit level is going to be right up here at 244. So I would think that me personally, I think that Bitcoin will get up here to the 244 level. So that's going to be the next level that I would personally be looking um, to trade in and around. Now, for me, it just depends on how it opens up Tuesday. Gaps up Tuesday here. I don't know if I would be looking to jump in it, right? I ultimately I do think it makes it to 250. 251 is right here. Now the last level I generally don't hold to. I generally hold to this level right here. And I would be trying to take profit before it gets there, right around 250. And let's look at this on a daily chart and see what it looks like. And basically, if banking on this move right here, I'm also expecting Bitcoin to move as well. Look at Bitcoin on the daily. Looks similar, right? You see? And so one of the ways to mimic that move, even if you're someone who doesn't trade Bitcoin or understands it, is to be right into here, looking at this right here, trying to catch it, trade with Bitcoin going up. So I actually, and you can see Bitcoin is moving right now because Bitcoin trades all the time. Like it's always the market never, for the most part, isn't doesn't close on Bitcoin, and it's in the green currently. And I would expect it to move Bitcoin and Coinbase to move together. All right, let's take a look at the next one. I did go over GameStop last week. I'm going to talk about it some more. Let's look at GameStop. Now we'll see on GameStop, it coming off of these highs, coming all the way down into here, and it's kind of just sitting. It filled this whole gap right here. Like this gap got filled. So it came back and filled this gap last week. And right after it filled this gap, let's look at GameStop. On the last 2 hours of the day, even no, even after market. So this is the last 2 hours of the day. And because of the distortion of the chart, it looks kind of weird because the range of the chart is so. Let's see if I can move this to make it look. You can see these last 2 hours, you got a little move, right? And then you may say that doesn't look like much. And it's not here because this is during the market. Now, what's weird is that GameStop traded after the market closed. So this is where it's at the high 1968. After the market closed, GameStop continued to trade up to $21.42 after market hours. So really, it's right up into this range here, which is odd. So I'll be watching it now. And I'm not saying anything, right? I'm just saying that that's odd, especially on a Friday. You'll get a lot of times you'll get after hours trading on stocks after market hours on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. But Friday, it's kind of rare that you'll see something like that. And 43 million shares traded in GameStop on Friday. You want to see how odd that is? I'll tell you how odd that is. It out more shares traded in GameStop than Apple on Friday, and Amazon, and Boeing, and Coinbase, and Meta, and Nvidia. Nvidia traded 42.9 million. GameStop traded 43 million, which that's more than Google. So it's I don't know what's going on there. I'm just bringing it to people attention. Yes, I am holding. I am holding some shares, but I will not hold them forever. I'm just letting you know. But I am holding something, right? And I do think that that is something. We got a gap here, so maybe we get that gap fill here, and that would put us up right around 27 ish, 27.50, somewhere right in there. You got another gap here. I do believe these gaps will be filled, and you got another gap like right up here. So let's just see what happens. That's just on the radar for the week. Nvidia, I wanted to talk about Nvidia. Nvidia is tough, and one of the reasons why I say Nvidia is tough, to because where Nvidia is, what's that saying, like to go where no man has gone before, or something like that, when they were talking about space or something, or is that Star Trek? I remember hearing that somewhere. But anyway, maybe I'll Google it and see where. But basically, this stock is going where the stock hasn't gone before. So when you get something like this, it's hard to. I can't give any projections. It's not moving on any type of. It's just moving, right? This is it's just moving. It's $1,000 is in this sense. Let's see. Let's just look at the movement in the last 6 months. Let's look year to date. Year to date. So this is a year to date chart. Look at this stock, man. From down here, right around a low of 473.20, it's doubled. It's doubled in like 5 months. Almost, let's call it 6 months. Look at it. Half a year, the stock has doubled. You at that point, it's just, there's no way for me to do any type of technical analysis on it. And I only wanted to bring it up to say this. If you made money in it, some of the things that me personally, I'd be taking profit. I don't know. I may leave. I probably would leave something on and just let it run, but don't let a winner become a loser. Uh, at some point, this will turn around. They always do. And one way I would just I'm gonna pull up some indicators just to show you guys something you could possibly do to is to bring up something and look for some type of divergence. If you have an oscillator, bring up one to look for some divergence. One of the best ones to find that in is the MACD. Let's bring up the MACD, either the MACD or the RSI. And you see it's overbought by every metric. And I would look for some type of divergence or some type of something like this, where you see the stock made a high, made a well, it actually didn't even it didn't even diverge here. It hasn't diverged in the past year, momentum wise. So it's kind of hard to find it on here. When I find one, and then I know Tesla has divergence like this. When you see the price action continuing to go down, but you see the momentum not making more lows, momentum is actually going up. It's letting you know at some point it's getting ready to turn. So if I'm watching the video, if I'm in this, because I am watching it, but if I'm in this, I'm looking for some type of divergence. You want to see it, so either on the histogram, or you want to see it up here on these moving averages on this oscillator. You want to see the momentum will slow down and change before the stock price does. And when you see that, that may be a good way to reference when the market is getting ready to turn there. Let's go, since Tesla was next on the list. Now Tesla is trading in a range. You can see right here, I have levels for Tesla. Tesla is right here in a range. Now, it almost has like a triangle right here. As you can see, this high right here. If I were to draw some trend lines, I think I will go ahead and draw some trend lines just so you guys can see. I can see it without drawing them, but I will draw them. Right here, I can see the triangle. See it right there. And if I was going to draw another trend line, I would draw something like uh, maybe right through here, right? And so that's how I would have it looking. Hopefully you guys can see that on the screen, make it big. Now, what you want to see to trade something like this, you want to see it continue to go sideways. And then when it breaks out of here, you want to get a movement higher or lower. I just don't think that it will break out of here and go lower. It could. I could be wrong. You already had it gap up here. I would expect with this pole right here, I would expect to see it break out of here, break here, retest, and then go a little higher. And it could just stop right here at this next level and that be it, or just fill in this gap. And that would be the end of the move. Um, so I could see it going up to around 205. And more than likely, we probably have some option trading around that 205 level. Let's look at the June option tab. Now, the expected move for June only takes it to 195. So when I look up something like that and I see that the expected move is only 16 bucks in Tesla, that means I don't expect more than the expected move, honestly. I don't expect it to, so meaning if I have technical analysis saying that the next level up is 205, but the option chain is showing it only expecting to go to 195, I would go with the option chain even over my own analysis. Now, so I'd be taking profit somewhere right around in here. If I That's why I look at the option chain. Even if you own stocks, it still helps to know the option chain. If the market were to break out and you say, where would you take profit? I'd be taking profit right around here, 195. That's what the option chain is showing the expected move is. I wouldn't hold it anywhere past that, even though I have some levels outside of there. So next on my list, I wanted to take a look at Meta. Meta, when the market was closing on Friday, look what it gave us. See right here, got a nice green candle. And if we drill down intraday to the 1 hour, you can see that last hour looked like it was going to come up out of this range. So I'd be watching to see maybe Meta is playing for this gap close right here. The filling of the gap would be right around, let's call it 489.50 or something like that to fill that gap. Let's see what the expected move says for the week. So check it out. We got a $10.68 expected move. That will put Meta right around 488, 90, if my math is correct, somewhere like right around there. If you I add 1068 to 478.22. So let's just make it even math. Let's just say 11 bucks plus 478. That would be what? 489. Excuse me. So the expected move, the top of the range is putting it right here to fill this gap. And with low IV, that means that the options are cheap. So the IV rank is 6.8. With an IV rank of 6, option pricing is cheap here, meaning you don't have to worry about too much vol crush in these options, right? Because there isn't a lot of volatility being priced in, so it hasn't vol hasn't expanded in these options. Might not be a bad scalp in meta this week. We just have to watch and see how it open up. I don't want to see it gap up higher. You see it gap up higher on the opening on Tuesday. I don't think I would be trying to scalp it then at that point. Also Boeing. I want to talk about patience in Boeing, not the company. As you guys know, I'm not a big news guy as far as like the news goes. You know, people, yeah, the news looks bad in Boeing, but I'm just looking at the stock and just looking at the stock and not caring about the news. When you look at the stock, you tend to see things that you may not see because you listen in the headlines. The stock has been beaten down. And I'm saying that I think the news for Boeing has been the bad news is in the stock. Like I can see it here. It's being priced in. How much more bad news or bad publicity can it get? Uh, another thing, even though I don't talk about fundamentals a lot, there are only two major um uh what you call manufacturers of planes for the for the airline industry, and that's Boeing and Airbus. That they make their that's they most of the day going with one or the other or both. You really have a duopoly in that industry. So you either gonna own one or the other, and or they're either gonna use one or the other or both, like I said. So how much further can it go down? Now I like this candlestick right here in Boeing. This is a this hammer kind of looks like Thor's hammer with this long wick, right? And it filled this gap right here. Let's just see what may not be a bad trade this week coming up. Now, Boeing, let's look and see. All right. I like to double check and make earnings, make sure there are no earnings in the near future. And with that being said, this may not be a bad place with an IV rank of 55 to put a trade on in Boeing. You know, kind of look for I don't hate a put spread right here. I don't hate a put spread. Or you just do a regular old iron condor. If I would do that, I would come out. I would do it 54 days. That doesn't mean you have to hold it for 54 days, but I would come out into July and just sell the expected move. That's probably what I would do if I was going right there. Give me a little bit more more room to the upside. The bottom might be in short term. And there you go. You could go a little closer if you want to get a little bit more aggressive, but you're still outside of the expected move. And that's kind of like that's the trade that I would do. And Boeing, to be honest, when if you have a large enough account, you can go ahead and sell the strangle, sell the expect you can sell the 16 delta and sell the 15 to the upside if you want to do it like that. Just to be you want to be more aggressive, you can bring them in a little closer and sell them right there and do it like that. To me, that's the best way, in my opinion. That's how I would trade Boeing. Or you could go with a good old cover call with an IV rank of 55, meaning just buy some shares and sell the call against the existing shares. And hey guys, if you get something you got something out of this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I like to give actionable stuff, stuff that you can actually trade on or invest on or whatever you think. It's not investment advice, but I do like to give like stuff that people can use to kind of help you navigate, give you an insight into the market and what to look for coming up in the upcoming week. And with that being said, guys, I'm gonna be out. Peace.